Good morning YouTube and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a full day of eating. We're now 4 weeks out from the Southern BNBF and I thought today I would show you a full day of eating on a rest day, which wasn't planned to be a higher day today, but turns out it has, because I've taken my visuals this morning and I'm 2 pounds down from last night, so considerably leaner than I was basically yesterday. Pictures sent over to Max and he said, right, let's run a higher day, let's boost it up. So yeah, today's full day of eating is going to be slightly different to what I had planned yesterday ahead of recording today's video. And it's also my mum's birthday today, so we'll see what we get up to for that. But yeah, rest day from work, rest day from the gym. Although I do want to try and get into the gym today for some posing to work on the left hamstring. So we'll see how we get on with that. If not, I'll definitely get done tomorrow after tomorrow's upper day. But yeah, this is effectively is meal one that we've got in here. So meal one is my bagel thin and omelette. Within this, we've got 122 grams of egg whites, because I went slightly over when I poured the egg whites. 2 large eggs, 10 grams of reduced fat cheddar, 10 grams of spinach, and 14 grams of reduced sugar ketchup. And then here we've got the black coffee and the electrolytes, which is always the best way to start the day. So yeah, that's meal one going in. It's still fairly early. I think it's only just gone 6 o'clock. So we're going to have this. I'm then going to drive myself to the beach to get a nice long walk in to start the day, because I've just got 10k steps to get in, and ideally I want to try and get that done right at the start of the day, so that if I've got any plans with mum later for her birthday, which I know she's going out for dinner in the evening, but if we do anything during the day, at least I don't have to worry about movement and steps, and I can get a lot of that done before she wakes up and gets herself ready for the day. So so yeah, I'm just going to basically show you effectively all the meals that I'm eating. My macros today are 200 protein, 400 carbs, 55 grams of fats. And I'll list all of that within that meals. But yeah, this is meal one. I'm going to stop rounding on, because I don't want my white omelette to go cold, which it already is, I think. And same with the coffee. And yeah, let's see what I scran. So funny what a couple of days can make to a person's mood and person's energy levels. You know, in the last video I spoke about how literally doing nothing seemed bloody difficult, and it was. But now, you know, I had a bit more of a stride in my step today. I think I've ticked off about 7,700 steps now, so only 2,300 left to do for the rest of the day, and it's like 9:30 in the morning. So they'll easily get ticked off. Majority of those will just be general doing whatever, and then I'll probably go for a walk around the block later on today just to complete that 10k, which is nice, knowing that the majority of the work has been done for the day. We're going to go home now to have meal two, which is a slightly new meal that I've just recently introduced, and I'll explain why when I'm tucking into it. But yeah, just going back to obviously the last video where everything was a bit of a struggle. I think a lot of that was down to stress, and that's what I've noticed from then to now, was that at that period I was just very stressed with work, very stressed with I guess things going on in personal life perhaps, alongside bodybuilding. And I think what this just goes to show during prep is that the littlest thing, even when it's to do with stress, whether it's, you know, big stress or little stress, it's having a big impact on my body. Because the last couple of days digestion has improved massively, but when I was stressed I was a lot more bloated, my digestion has slowed down, that was impacted, and nothing had changed in terms of my foods. You know, food volume, food timings,
were still practically the same, but the only difference being was I was under some, physical and I guess mental stress, and that played a massive part. Whereas today, dropping 2 pounds overnight in digestion without being, too vile, was the best it's been in a while. So yeah, pretty happy obviously with how things are, but it just goes to show just how much of an impact that can have. And obviously trying to manage stress as much as possible is going to be essential to keeping everything consistent. So yeah, generally just feeling back to more myself again today. I think the higher day is definitely going to help with the increased carbs, and we'll see, I guess, what sort of impact that has on for the rest of today, and then going into tomorrow. But yeah, we're going to have a little drive back home now, and then tuck into meal 2.
Meal 2, we have got 76 grams of cream of rice, the white chocolate and coconut flavour from Trained by JP, with 40 grams of Perform salted caramel protein paste mixed with banana and frozen blueberries. Frozen blueberries, I think I had 50 grams on this, but I'll put again the MyFitnessPal entries onto this. And it's missing cinnamon, so I'm going to need to go down and get some cinnamon after I've recorded this part. But it's quite a new introduction into my nutrition, cream of rice, purely because, one, I've got a massive sweet tooth, and seeing loads of people's cream of rice dishes on Instagram got me wanting to try it. And it's quite good for digestion. So the reason I've not had it basically along this whole prep bodybuilding journey was because when I first tried it right at the start, I was having some digestion issues, which looking back was probably to do with something else, and not cream of rice itself, but it sort of put me off back then. But this will satisfy my sweet cravings. Is good, fast releasing, easily digestible carbohydrates, and it's a nice little treat. Makes me feel like I'm eating off plan without eating off plan. So yeah, we're going to tuck into this, but like I said, I need some cinnamon, so I'm just going to go and grab that now.
You've got collapsed arches, which is one of the big things that we have in posing. Your arches are collapsed. Obviously, your ankle pronates, so your foot pronates, your ankle rolls inwards. What we actually want to be doing, mate, is rolling to the outside of our feet, like actively rolling our arches off the ground.
We've got next meal here, which is one of my larger ones, which I traditionally will have train days and rest days, just because I like to keep things consistent. But we've got slightly less chicken for the less protein going in today, with 250 grams of jasmine rice, with salad and lettuce, and also 130 grams of mango chunks as well. You were listening earlier that I had my rice cakes with jam, honey and dark chocolate, as I do normally anyway. That's just for the increased carbs, and we had a very short snooze and some practice of posing this afternoon as well. But one thing that I thought was interesting doing this full day of eating, and then reflecting on the fact that I do have the same meals over and over again, is that, touch wood, I've never picked up any sort of illnesses or sicknesses in quite a while from eating good, which, funny enough, from consuming more nutrients actually helps. And one of the things I have learned through coaching is those clients that don't consume that many fruit and veg are always picking up bugs, always picking up colds, flus, which then has a knock-on effect on their energy levels, their recovery. They're not going to the gym, they're not performing well in their sessions, and not really building any momentum with their physique development because they're constantly having to rest and recover. And lo and behold, they're the sort of clients that struggle to eat fruit and veg, or eat like a child effectively. So if you're not eating your fruit and veg and you're not getting your nutrients in, start becoming a bit of an adult.
I should also add as well that alongside these meals today, I've had another 3 litres of water with electrolytes. The Perform Peach one that I had this morning, which does say recommended serving is 1 scoop, but I love the flavour so much that I go up to 3, and so far it's been absolutely fine. I'm still alive, I'm not dead yet, so we'll stick at 3. And then other fluids I've had decaf tea and Pepsi Max, which I've had a new flavour, which was the cherry vanilla, or vanilla and cherry, which is very, very mid. But I will now be on water for the rest of the day, and then maybe like a decaf coffee or tea in the evening before bed, for the rest of my fluids. So I'll be looking to probably have at least 5.5, 6 litres of water as just water, and then obviously the fluid on top of that as well. So yeah, one more meal to get in later on today, but we're going to chill out now and enjoy the sunshine for the rest of, well, the next couple of hours or so maybe, and yeah, then have a final meal and get prepped with food for tomorrow, and fingers crossed we get another higher day tomorrow, because I thoroughly enjoy eating carbohydrates. So final meal, as is often the case on a rest day, the tried and trusted burgers and chips. The way I make them is 250 grams of 5% beef mince. No, get down. Get it down. Down. She's recently had some medication which has increased her appetite, which is why she's getting up there. 250 grams of 5% beef mince, 10 grams of 50% reduced fat cheddar cheese. I know cheddar is not typically what you'd have in a burger, but if it's macros. Then we've got 30 grams of salad, and just under 450 grams of potatoes, which are just cut up into chips and put in an air fryer. So again, off-plan meal looks like, but actually it's fairly on plan, and that will then take my macros up for the targets for today. So we'll have this, we'll go to bed in a couple of hours, so it'll give enough time for digestion. And it just goes to show that you don't actually have to eat chicken, rice and broccoli for every meal to get in shape, as long as you have the right nutrients, the foods that work for you. And we'll see what sort of push it gives my physique tomorrow morning with the visuals, and see if we go back-to-back higher days. But yeah, that's a full day of eating. We're going to have this now, have like I said, decaf coffee or tea for this evening just to unwind, probably stick on the Spain-Austria game for the World Cup, and then get ready for usual day of working the morning shift at Aldi, training, and then enjoying the Friday. So if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like, add a subscription, or subscribe if you haven't already. Subscription, no one ever says that, do they? Because we are on course for 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and we're currently on 58, so 42 to go for the second half of the year. So yeah, please do that, and I'll see you on the next one.